All right, we are live. Aaron Miller here with the Anonymous Aaron YouTube channel. We got Joel Penorwood over there.
Hello.
Little bit about both of us. I'm getting some feedback.
Aaron, it's probably because it's playing in another one of your tabs now that we're live. Same thing happened to me last week.
So I got that closed out. You still there, Joel?
I'm still here.
All right, there we go. Fantastic. Yeah, so this is the second episode of the Joel and Aaron show. The first episode on my channel here at the Anonymous Aaron YouTube channel. We're going to be going back and forth with these. I'll host one week. Joel will host one the next week. Joel hosted the first episode of the Joel and Aaron show last week on his YouTube channel. Joel, how we doing out there tonight?
Dude, doing good. It's been kind of a crazy last few days.
It has been. Why is that?
Crazy last few days. I don't know if you folks can see me or if it's just all Aaron all the time.
No, you're up right now, Joel. Yep, every time you talk.
I don't know. It's awesome. Because it's a beautiful thing we've got going on here. Just got in from the fields. Just finished the Penorwood harvest. And good. Feels good, man, to get the soybeans out of the fields. It's good stuff.
All right, good deal. Good deal.
We've had some pretty good soybean moistures and harvests, yields, and all those good things. So good year.
I heard Logan County is supposed to be having a bumper crop on their beans this year. I heard some up there were 80 bushel beans.
Oh, that was not our field, but somebody's field might be. All kinds of stuff. I don't know if Logan County is any better than anywhere else, but some good yields all around Ohio this year.
Oh, good deal. Good deal. We just, my dad and my brother finished the beans up this week. I think Monday they got done out there, and then we got the corn off earlier. Corn's all done, beans all done. We're wrapped up, man.
Feels good, man.
It does. It does.
That's great.
So, those of you guys joining us, what we've got on our docket for tonight, we've got a general catch-up. We're going to talk about some weight loss, outdoor stories, our thoughts on Elizabeth Warren, big figure in the news recently. I've got a nice little feel-good harvest story. Talk a little bit more about the harvest itself. Joel wanted to go ahead and cover an ancient shipwreck, and we're going to talk about the materialism that exists in both of our lives as well. That's what we've got going on tonight. Did a brief little catch up there. Joel, what else been going on for you? Anything else big in the life of Joel this week?
I mean, we had our little Halloween get together. You were there this weekend. It was a nice time. Real windy out. Holy cow! It was like 45 miles per hour winds coming through the area, and we had the tent going outside, which we had the Ohio State football game inside and outside. Unfortunately, that didn't rock, and so. Well, things happened, but luckily the tent all stayed in place. I think it was a hit. We got rid of all of our booster bars. We got a lot of booster bars, and so it was good. It was good, and now we're just prepared for National FFA Convention, which we'll talk a little bit about.
Well, we will. That's a big one coming up. Starts tomorrow for us. Still, I think we've got everything fixed up, everything where it needs to be at for that on my end, on the St. Trace FFA chapter end.
Dude, what's been going on over your way?
Going on over my way. We are just getting ready for convention also. Yes. That's been the big thing, weighing heavily on my mind. First year planning the FFA convention trip on my own. So big step for me.
Pumpkin pie.
What?
I'm eating pumpkin pie right now.
Oh. Those of you joining us, Joel Penorwood is eating pumpkin pie. Those of you listening live terrestrially, that's what Joel's got going on. Yeah, just getting stuff ready for convention. That's been the big thing. That and the deer are starting to move, so that's been a big thing on my plate coming up. We've got, after convention gets out of the way, we've got some nice looking weather coming up this weekend and next weekend. Going to be a good time to be in the woods.
I just saw a couple of your deer buddies tonight on the way to Kroger and back, and I waved to them. They waved back. It was good. It was nice. It was
I
like
did.
yeah. It
Yeah,
was
I
like a
did.
mutual agreement. We gotta stop doing that. It was a mutual agreement, like, you stay over there, dear. I'll stay over here. Nice to see you. Have a good one. So
As per the usual. Yeah, I had to run in and pick up some things at the school tonight, and I bet I saw 15 deer. There's deer everywhere.
deer, or as some people call them, deers.
Yeah,
To be determined on what proper. Actually, we all know what's proper.
we know. I think they know. Do you think anybody ever says deers and
I think
doesn't
they
know?
know too, Aaron. I think they just do it, but like, how far can I get? How far,
Always
how
suspicious
far
of
out of the
those people.
store can I get with my groceries before I can pay for them? Before
I'm
somebody
always
calls me out on them.
always suspicious of those people. Those people and people that you know better. That is one thing I'm always suspicious of. People that say, like, "Oh, I'm gonna go wash my car," and then they say, "Oh, I'm gonna go wash my hands." I'm always suspicious of those people.
Is it creek or crick?
Creek, unless you honestly think it's a crick. If you grew up saying crick, by all means, I'm not here to judge. I'll never judge anybody because they've grown up saying things a certain way. If they don't, if they are doing it to try and be a hillbilly, yeah, that's the stuff I don't have a whole lot of patience with that stuff.
We always called it creek, and I think you're wrong. Obviously, there's only one way to say it, Aaron.
I see.
Obviously. Just
I don't
kidding.
know. I
Just
know.
kidding. You say whatever.
I know. I know. Yeah, that's probably a bigger deal for me than I'd like to admit. That's one, man, that gets me.
We can't be friends anymore.
No,
It's what? Oh, the hillbilly thing?
yeah,
Ah.
striving to appear ignorant, which might be something we touch on a little bit later on in today's show. That is one that
Or just appearing ignorant without striving to do so. I mean, that's
yeah,
also bothers me.
yeah, I don't hold ignorant people in contempt as much as I hold people in contempt that try to appear ignorant.
All right.
If that makes sense.
That makes sense. I like it.
Yeah, yeah. Everything else going well for you though? Got a big week of conventioning planned.
Well, we're just going Thursday for news coverage stuff. We kind of like compact everything into kind of one day. A lot of good Ohioans out there, so we'll be covering lots of good things. President Donald Trump will be there on Saturday,
He
which
is
is pretty exciting.
also my president. Yeah, he's your president as well.
Everyone's president is going to be there Saturday.
Yeah, yeah. So, welcome the president of the United States. Your president of the United States is going to be there. I'm excited about that. I will not be there Saturday, but I think the last president that addressed the national convention was Eisenhower. So, been a minute. Been a minute for that. Eisenhower is not your president, but
Got to
Donald
tell
Trump
you,
is.
don't remember that presidency quite as clear.
It was a little bit ago. I think was he the one after Bill Clinton?
Hmm.
Was that Eisenhower?
Obama.
Obama was
What?
after.
We're joking, people. Don't worry.
Yes.
All right. We're off to a start today.
Yeah. Oh boy. Cooking with
Oh.
gas now, guys.
Okay. What's on the docket? Well, things are good my way. Things are good your way. Life's good.
Yeah, life is good. It's a great time to be alive. Next thing I've got on my list here to talk about weight loss. Yeah, that's kind of been a big thing going on in my life right now. The school year for us started about 2 months ago, and about 2 months ago I weighed 288 pounds. Whew. That's a big hunk of meat on a 6'2" frame. If I was not the first time I've heard that. If I was a 7.5 foot tall man, that wouldn't be bad. but I'm not.
That's just
6 foot.
that's strangely tall. 7.5 feet.
Wouldn't that be something? You'd have a completely different perspective on life.
I'd have a completely different weather pattern. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't even know what I do. Like
you'd.
that height, it's just inconvenient, right?
Yeah, I feel like jumping into a swimming pool would not be nearly as exciting.
Danger to your health at that point.
Would it be, or would there be no danger to your health? Is that part of the joy of swimming? Is the potential danger to the health? If you can stand up in the deep end, why swim?
Oh,
Take a bath.
maybe best lifeguard ever. See, okay, maybe at that height, that's untapped potential for tall people. I don't hear about like super tall lifeguards. Where's Yao Ming, Shaquille O'Neal? They should be guarding like pools.
They should be guarding lives at pools. That's right.
Let's put a pin in that. We'll talk about that at a future time. Oh wait. So where are you now?
245. 245.
Congratulations. And in what time frame did that happen?
About 2 months.
That's 2 months. Nuts, man. That's like 5 pounds a week regularly, right?
Yeah, there's a hardworking man inside of Old Man Miller. I did it once before when I was in high school. I lost 80 pounds in a year. So
what's the secret? Because everyone's looking for the weight loss secret.
Yeah,
and you seem to have found it.
You got to find what works for you. I was running there for a little bit. I hate running, man. I cannot run. I am not. That is not.
I really enjoy running. I really enjoy it. I ran cross country for like 6 years, track and field, and I like it. But
yeah, I do not
understand why people don't like it.
I feel like if it's something that you've done, and like obviously you and I are built a little bit differently.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot more of me to move around, I guess is the
I'm not saying that I disagree with you that running is the devil. I'm just saying, like, you can do things I cannot do, like lift a sofa to the 3rd floor of a house at Ohio State University.
Yes, that
on
was
moving day with a rope.
That was something. That was that was just hoisting. I was like Andre the Giant then. I was just I am going faster.
Literal physics. All right.
Yeah. But isn't it great that we're all different? You can do things that I can't do, like enjoy running.
I wouldn't be able to lose that amount of weight. That's something you can do.
Yeah, it comes, when you've got more to lose, it comes off faster, I guess, is one way to put that.
It probably helps not to have friends that eat pumpkin pie in front of you on a podcast.
That is one thing I've actually enjoyed is being around unhealthy food and not. I feel kind of snobby. I don't mean to, but I'm like, no carbs.
Well, in that case, you're welcome.
Yeah, I do.
I do this for you, Aaron.
I know you do. You're all heart, Joel. You're all heart.
But it is good.
Yes, sir. But yeah, as far as the secret, I don't think there is a secret. Just portion control. Watch the amounts of foods that I'm eating. I'm also trying really hard to cut carbs back. I won't say out, but I eat a lot of eggs. Eat some bacon. I eat bacon and eggs every morning. I have a piece of bacon for lunch every day. Then I come home, and most nights I have a nice responsible dinner.
Not a common weight loss food, bacon.
It's not, but I'm kind of doing a layman's take on the keto diet, which is very low carbs. And I think I'm just selling it to myself as keto when actually I'm just watching my carbs and my portion size.
We need to come up with like a new name for it.
We could.
You should. I mean, I don't have a dog in this, man.
It's all right. But no, that's my thing. I think the biggest thing is just having, having something to believe in. The last time I lost a bunch of weight, I had a reason to try and get skinnier. I was trying to be my best me, and I'm ready to start being my best me again. Life's good. Life is good.
You be you. You be the best you.
Yeah, and you as well, Mr. Penorwood. I hope you're the best you also.
So are you to the point like you need new wardrobe?
I should.
Like, are you hunting things fitting still?
Hunting things fit just fantastic. I had a good joke about that today that I'll tell you later. Remind me to tell you that after we're done here.
I gotta write it down. I gotta write it down.
Yeah. While Joel's writing that down, we're gonna go ahead and use this as our segue into the next portion of this, as you heard me talk about last week and many other times. Outdoors, big part of the life and times of Aaron Miller. You can see it behind me. Got a couple of trophies up on the wall back behind me. As you can see, off to my side here, got some of my fishing poles hanging up on the wall here as well. Joel said he wanted to talk about some outdoor stories today, so we are gonna do that. Joel, is there any particular story you wanted to hear about, or you just want me to kind of shoot from the hip and go for it?
I'll shoot from the hip, man. Obviously, shoot from the hip.
Shoot from the hip. All right, so I am going to tell you all the story of my summer, which was spent fishing up at Lake Erie. That's kind of
that's a good one.
Yeah, that's my big adventure story.
I have a question before we jump into this story fully.
Yeah.
Can we touch on the adventure that Josh and I can we segue maybe from your story into some outdoor Penorwood story?
Yeah.
With that, because it relates to yours, I feel, right?
Yeah, it does. Some outdoor woods.
That was just some bookkeeping. I'm sorry everybody had to witness that, but
hey, that's the joys of that's the joys of a live podcast. When you're in this business, you get
kind of a big deal. That's how it's done here, people. You wouldn't understand. There's the photons, the protons, so the moron can speak.
Yes. So this summer, I spent the summer working on a charter fishing boat out of Lakeside, Marblehead, Ohio, up on the north coast of Ohio, up at Lake Erie. Tibbles Marina was the name of that. Shout out to you guys. Had a great experience up there. Great captains, great people to work with. Fantastic. We've been fishing up there with my family for the past 5 or 6 years. My grandma passed away, and that's when my dad, my little brother, and myself all went up there, and we fished with them. And I've been up there a couple times after that, and I asked them one summer, I said, what would it take? What would it take to get hired? I see you've got deck hands working on these boats. What would it take to be one of those people that come up and interview with us, and we'll see where we're at with that. So I went up last April during a terrible storm up there. There was a road that got washed out during that storm. Interviewed then, and they hired me for the summer. I spent 6 weeks in a 1980s Mallard mobile home RV recreational vehicle up there, which actually my co-host on the Joel and Aaron show provided for me, which was a nice thing.
The fearless Mallard. It's never known a camping opportunity it couldn't take on. May not make it out of the camping opportunity in one piece, but that's all right. Not that Aaron did that. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, it did. It made it out of there.
She's been through some times, isn't that right, Aaron?
Oh, it was a joy, man. It was a big adventure. I was glad it was exactly how it was. I'll put it like that. I think that added to the adventurous spirit of the summer.
I just want to say, it was a kind of a 3-person expedition when we all went up there, right? You drove, Dad drove the Mallard, and I drove behind. And we get up there, and there's this dude out washing his motorhome.
Probably a $500,000 RV.
At least, dude. This thing, I mean, it looked like Simon Cowell was hanging out inside of it.
Yeah.
It had everything you could imagine, fancy things beside it. And then we roll in with the old, there's an RV, Clark. and the rest is history. And then you had to live beside him for the rest of the summer with that RV. So
I
we were
did.
just kind of like, good luck, Aaron.
Doing all my hillbilly stuff that I was doing up there, like laying up on top of the RV reading a book. I'm just like, hey, how you doing down there, fella? Yeah, I had a good time there. Okay. Yeah, and that'll be a topic for a later day because
later day. That's not just a joke, people. That's a later day. We'll talk.
We will. Big another big part of the life of Aaron Miller. Yeah, so best time in that 6 weeks, the captain Al Kernack and myself were out between the Kelly's Island and South Bass Island. We were out perch fishing one day. Started out the morning. We had, I want to say, 7 people on the boat plus the captain and myself. So that's 9 with a limit of 30 fish. How many fish is that? 270. Very good. We had 270 fish in the boat by like 10:30. So we went in early that day. We had a charter that evening, which was I probably ran double trips maybe 10 times this summer, and that might even be a high end. We didn't run a whole lot of double trips, but we ran some double trips. So we went in, we had our limit, the 7 people on the boat, and the captain and myself. We all had our 30 fish. We went back out that evening, and we had 4 people. So we needed to have 120 fish on the boat by, that was their limit. We went out, and the captain was up in the front, and I was in the back, and we were just kind of enjoying being out there. Didn't seem like the people were catching a whole awful lot of fish though. So Al said, "Count how many fish we got. Let's see how many we got." And I went back, and lo and behold, while we were not paying a whole lot of attention to the 4 people on the charter, because a couple of they. Anyhow, we had 118 fish on the boat.
Hello.
And about the time I said, "Do you think they can handle catching 2 more fish?" Both back corners brought a perch in, and we went in early in the night too. So that was the good night for perch fishing up there. Love perch fishing.
So it's interesting because I know like nothing about charter fishing and all that good stuff, especially on Lake Erie. We'll get into it in a moment here. I know Lake Erie, but I don't know charter fishing. So do like the fish, migrate just from different parts of the lake from time to time, and then you guys just get lucky enough to happen on the school? Or
they will. The west basin of Lake Erie it's a good spot, and there's some luck that comes in it. I think as a person working on a headboat, there's a little more luck in it because a lot of the people that have their own private boats, they just wait till the headboats go out, and then they'll belly right up beside of you and start fishing right there. We had good fish finding equipment though. We were able to keep if there were fish out there, if people were catching fish, the headboats would be the boats catching fish. So if you're looking for a fishing charter on Lake Erie, Tibble's Marina and Charter Services.
Or Aaron Miller Motorized Canoe Services as well.
Yeah, possibly, but no.
Dangerous. Yes.
So
did you ever pull up alongside another boat and say, "Arr, we're taking it over," and pirate?
No.
Because I think that's a missed opportunity there, Aaron.
Maybe, but
next summer.
Yeah, next summer. Maybe I'll be a pirate next summer.
Very good.
Do you know where I can find some eye patches?
I've got 8 because they came in bulk from Amazon. But I used them I'll even dress up as Captain Jack Sparrow.
Well, there we go, man. I mean, I think it sounds like a fine idea. You said you wanted to talk about your Lake Erie experiences. Let's hit that, and then we'll move into something else here.
We'll get in there now. So let's just do that. So much like you, my family has gone up to Lake Erie for many a summer, and we traditionally head over to Kelly's Island and camp over there and enjoy the quiet, peaceful, serene nature of the island. I would compare it to many people who go to Put-in Bay, but it's a totally different feel. While
Yeah,
Put-in Bay is more of a college party atmosphere, Kelly's Island is like the retirement home of the Lake Erie Islands. Is that is that an
yeah,
okay?
yeah. Lightning
How
McQueen
would
would
you
probably
describe
be on Put-in Bay, and I would say that the citizens of Radiator Springs would be on Kelly's Island.
That's the perfect. It's the perfect metaphor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways,
The Disney's
very
new
good.
show Boats is coming out this fall.
Oh, oh,
I'm just kidding. But if they were, they could put it on Lake Erie.
that would be pretty sweet. Anyways, so we go up there fairly often. Just in the last few years, the Panorwood brothers have kind of gotten into sailing a little bit. Josh was back for a few days, and we decided to take the old Catalina 22-footer up to visit Aaron, and we made a kind of a day trip out of it. Long story short, we stayed the first night over with Aaron, got up early the next morning after kind of jerry rigging an auto tiller system.
Ah, yes.
Yes, the trip to the hardware store.
That was quite the adventure.
Yes, yes. And so we got all that set up, and we put out early in the morning. It was a little windy, a little wavy. We saw a little bit of white caps out there. And we said, Aaron, keep us updated. Maybe we can meet up a little bit later. So Josh and I, we set out from mainland. We went out and we circled Kelly's Island. We'd never really done any real sailing. I mean, we had gone up and down Alum Creek before, but this was our first real circumnavigation of an island. And we did it, and it was fun. And then we came back around the front part of the island, threw ourselves into the harbor, and Aaron came on over to the ferry, one-way ticket on the ferry.
I did. That was a good time.
And we sailed on back with Aaron. And what a nice little, just a calm, serene sail back to mainland. I think. What did you think of that little? I mean, it's much different than you guys motoring on out to Perch, but
yeah, it was neat. You know, the water was not bad at all. The sailing was the sea state was pristine for being out on the water there.
Darn the sea state. No one uses the word sea state. And these guys said, "Oh, the sea state, sea state, sea state."
The sea state was wonderful that day. It was a nice calm sea state for us to get back and forth between the islands there.
Just say the waves are calm. The waves are calm. Although sea state does kind of make you sound more sailor-like.
Yeah,
much like how your shirt makes you like more patriotic just by being there.
Well, Joel, you know the $1.6 billion lottery is coming up, but it's like my old pal Creed Bratton always.
Was that tonight?
I think it is. I think they draw at 11. Like Creed Bratton says, I already won the lottery, baby. I was born in the U.S. of A. So that's I'm happy.
And another great Creed Bratton quote: "Don't let them find out I have asthma, or else they won't let me scuba. And if I can't scuba, then what's all this for?"
Oh, you know, as great as The Office is, I still think it's an underrated show, only in the sense that I don't think you can overrate The Office.
I feel the last couple of seasons just kind of dragged on a little bit. I'm glad they ended it. I felt like any more would have just been bleh.
Yeah, kill it before it dies. You either die the hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yes.
In that case, so yeah. Speaking of
people who've lived too long, no,
that is not what I'm saying at all, Joel. Absolutely.
No. So wait, did you buy a lottery ticket?
I did. I've spent $15 on lottery tickets, which
isn't that well worth the price of just dreaming? Like, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna pay $15 just to think what I could do with $1.6 billion, or as I like to think, $1,600 million.
$1,600 million. That's right. Yeah. I did. I spent $14 more on lottery tickets in the past 3 weeks than I have ever. So
Oh wow.
yeah, yeah, not a
Well, good for you.
yeah.
If you win, do we continue the podcast?
Nah, you all will never see me again if I win.
Well, okay. What would you do? What would you do? We'll just do this real quick.
Yeah, I think this. I think it's worth spending some time on. If I had won the lottery, if I hit the lottery for $1,600 million, I would get rid of my junky vehicles for one.
Mm-hmm.
I would buy a piece of property and set up the Aaron Miller Future Memorial Park, and then when I die, I'd have them throw a slide on it and call it a park. I would, of course, when would I die? Nobody would know. Nobody would know.
For that money, you could afford to like not die.
Yeah, I would be cryogenically frozen, and then I would just let it go.
Who's that on top of the statue, Mommy? Oh, it's Mr. Miller. He's frozen up there for all of eternity until they find a cure.
I am the statue, son. No, I'd do that. I'd probably buy a big piece of property, buy some decent vehicles. I'm thinking like, nothing terribly expensive, just
A 4-wheel drive Ford Ranger.
brand new everything in the Ford lineup and a garage to put it in.
Very good.
And I'd want it built tomorrow. I'd have Ty Pennington come in and build my garage. And I'd be like, dude, you get it done. You get it done. You build me a garage in the next 24 hours, and I will give you $1 million to
move that bus into the garage. Into the garage.
Yeah.
Take it right into the garage. Aaron bought the bus.
Bus is mine too. Here's the check. Yeah, I think that would be. I would help people. I think I would help people.
I agree. I would like to think I would keep anonymous, but a part of me would like leak my name to the press every time I help.
Yeah, I'd be
like in a large amount. Like who gave $10 million to the local 4-H kids?
So you'd be Taylor.
I hear it was that millionaire that used to show 4-H.
But then no one knows where he lives.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah. I think I'd be like a Batman. I think I'd be Batman in real life. I think Batman would be a good thing to do with $1.6 billion. Of course, if I win the lottery, I won't win $1.6 billion. I'll only end up with probably like 60 million because I'm in on it with the other people at the school. So I'd have to be responsible with my spending.
So here's the question: if you win, and then all of a sudden it was like 5 other people win as well, and now you're down to splitting 300 million in between you and others. Are you disappointed?
No.
Oh, I am disappointed. I signed up for the 1.6 billion, man. I want my billions. I mean, I'll take it, but I'm not happy about it.
My figure is $1 million. As long as I end up with more than $1 million and never have to go to work again. Not that I hate my job. I love my job. But I mean,
everyone dreams about what they could do just freely,
Yeah,
good stuff. So, what's next on the docket, Aaron?
Next on the docket, we have a true a tale of the. We say that the America today is not the Wild West, but maybe there are some that wish that it was. We are going to be talking about the Wild West of the political world with the Elizabeth Warren in the news.
Segue.
Yeah,
nice segue.
I don't know if that's the right kind of segue for our viewership or not, but that's the one that we'll go with. Joel, you want to crack into that can of worms for us?
Yeah, we don't need to go too far in depth. We don't need to harangue people on their political views or whatnot. But I just thought this was really interesting. She claimed, I believe she was it Navajo or Cherokee?
Yeah, break it down here for us. What is the...
All right. Elizabeth Warren, a politician, a non-supporter of Donald Trump, let's just say that, said...
Fine.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
Let's just unpack that. That is one part of this puzzle.
Right. But a while back she claimed she had a connection to Native Americans because she was, well, part Native American, and she made it really sound like she was raised and grew up somebody who's ridiculed for being different, or for her whose
Oppressed,
family looked different,
oppressed.
oppressed in a way. Um, Donald Trump challenged her to have the old DNA test, and the way I think these family heritage tests work, they're not just black and white. There's traces of things in your DNA that tend to lean towards your heritage being from this area of the world and related to this part.
Right.
And so she had the test, and she claims, hallelujah, she is Native American. There you go. But you read into it a little bit more, and I think this is not just a lesson. This isn't something partisan. I think this is a lesson we just take away. Important to read into all topics on all sides of the issue. If you read into it a little bit more, it says likely that she had a relative at very least 6 to 10 generations back.
So you look at the
that's
bottom
like 200
sentence.
years ago, Aaron. And that's one individual.
So parents would be one generation, so that's 2. Their parents is 4. Yeah.
No. Like parents is 1, grandparents 2, great grandparents 3.
No, I'm saying 4 grandparents. Parents.
I got you. The 4 grands.
Yes. I think. Yeah. So the test results came back and said that she. What was the results on that?
That she had a relative that was strongly suggested by the test results that was Native American at very least 6 to 10 generations. So at that point, we're not talking 132nd Native American, not 164th. It's more like 1/512th or something more. I don't have the number in front of me, but
between 6 and 10 generations. So there would be
I don't consider that. I mean, I'm curious. It makes me curious what's in my DNA. I feel like all of us at one point or another have, at that many generations out, have like.
There was a lot less people back then.
There's a lot less people.
And the percentages of Native Americans at that time was probably higher than the percentage of Native Americans in the modern age, I would say.
I would probably agree. And I would say it's just, it doesn't all add up to me. And that's all I think I'll say. And I'm not going to, don't go out and claim you're Native American. I think it does a disservice. It does a disservice to people who actually are Native American or some other ethnicity.
Yeah, and I'm not here saying I'm not trying to discriminate against any group of people. I would never do that. I love people. I love the fact that people are different. I'm with you. I think it cheapens the brand. I think if you say that you are something and then if you're not, if you write everything in bold letters, then nothing is in bold letters.
Yes. Yes. Very good.
Yeah. Yeah. I think what makes people fascinating, Joel, is the fact that we are all different. And I think what you do makes you fascinating. I don't think I'm entitled to have people look at me differently because of anything, because of anything that is outside of my control. Now, Elizabeth Warren, obviously a political figure in American politics right now. Obviously, she's done very well for herself in the sector that she's in. I think that is fascinating. Not, I would hate to see that distilled down to identity politics, if that makes sense. And it's the same way with anything else for me. Like Martin Luther King Jr. said, judge people on the content of their character, not by the color of their skin, and that's a big thing. And I think we could expand that to a lot of different realms right now. I don't care if somebody is a straight person or a gay person or a Native American person or an African American person. I base my feelings on people based on how they are as a person. If you're a good person, hey, that's what it's all about right there, man.
Well, it's an interesting topic. I think it's just odd.
It is.
It's just weird. It's just odd.
Yeah. Yeah.
I should go around saying I should just find something way back in my DNA that's suggested and be like, listen up, people. I'm related to Benjamin Franklin. He wanted me to tell you this right now.
The odds of you having one relative 6 generations back, I mean, there's only so many different ethnic groups. The odds are pretty good that you got a little bit of everything in you. I mean,
if you believe biblically like I do, odds are pretty darn good. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. Shall we move on?
Yeah.
Shall we move on?
with the finishing touch of be nice to people, everybody. This goes out to
come on.
Yeah, it's 2018. We're better than this.
Come on. Treat people with respect.
Yeah, everybody. If I think the best way to get past identity type politics like that is to get past them. Don't discriminate against people. Be kind to everyone.
There's a song in the movie Rocket Man. I've got the whole world in my hands. I've got the whole world in my hands. I've got the whole wide world in my hands. I don't know the rest of the song, but the idea is
good.
Be nice to people. More will come at a later time. I'm thinking Christmas season might be more Christmassy music, maybe. Well, anyways, let's continue on with the show.
Yes. So, like we've talked about, people, lots of human interactions in here, and what keeps people going but a good old fashioned farmer. Thank the farmers in your life. The next thing we got coming up on field.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Aaron. Just that the conceitedness was kind of a joke. I'm sorry.
No, I was raising my bottle on behalf of all of our viewers here to a toast to farmers. So
yes, thank you, farmers, for all you do. Can I also say I'm also toasting here. It looks like I'm drinking a classy cup of Joe. It's actually Mountain Dew with ice cubes in it.
It's a cup of Joel.
It's a jolt. Yeah, there you go.
Ah! Yes.
Well done.
Yeah. Very well done. Next thing we got coming up here is a nice little feel-good harvest story. So this is kind of this section of our show where we're going to transition a little bit into things that we've read, news items. Joel's got another one he wants to hit here. But yeah, we're going to take a look at a feel-good harvest story. So I was cruising through the Facebooks the other day looking for a good thing to discuss on here, and I came across this story of a farmer out harvesting his grain there. He had his combine out, and he'd just broken the combine down. So he was out fixing it, and he just happened to look up over towards the gate, and he saw a car sitting there. He kind of looked at him for a little bit and went back to fixing the combine, and he looked back up, and they were still there, and he just finished the combine. He went over there and talked to them. There was a grandma and a grandpa and two boys and a little girl in the car, and they were just all excited to get a chance to talk to a farmer. And the man asked the grandparents if the kids wanted to go for a ride with him, and two boys said they wanted to, and the little girl said she didn't want to. And so he took the two boys up, took them for a round in the corn, and showed them how the machine worked. And it was nice. And he got them back and dropped them off. And the little girl, she was awful shy, so she ended up going for a ride with him, and he made her feel right at home. He let her steer the combine, and dropped her back off. And the moral of the story was, being an advocate for yourself, I think. And I think that transcends not just this conversation, but many conversations that we've got. This farmer took time out of his day to expose these kids to the goings on a production farm, which, I don't know, that was just really nice to me. I could put myself in both perspectives there, as a person who runs equipment and as someone who likes to ride in equipment. It's I just really thought that was nice. That made me feel real good when I got done reading that.
Was this an old man at heart, but a young man in body with a red beard? And was it you? Was it you?
It sounds like it might be me. I tell you what, I will put the link to this down in the description text of this.
Very good.
It is a good one. It is.
Now, I agree. How cool is it just to be a bro? Be a bro as a human to other humans.
Yeah.
That's what we need more of in this world. Now, I remember when I was little, and I always thought my extended family's dairy farm is the coolest thing. I still do. And they had a field day for the local school. So they brought in like their entire grade or I don't know, several grades, and they made a big rotation around the farm, from stop to stop. And I was really little. I wasn't old enough to be in that rotation or the field trip or anything, but I was there. I just remember saying, how cool is it that people come, to my family and see what they're doing and find interest in that. And I think also when I'm out visiting other places, like and I go field trips on another world, I think it's cool from both sides. It's not only cool that the kids are seeing something they've never seen before, but I bet that farmer thought this was the best thing ever too, because these kids think I'm a superhero.
Yeah, you kind of are.
Kind of are a superhero. Yeah, and a true superhero, because you took time out of your day, made the extra effort, took those kids on a trip around the field. And even the little girl sounds like.
Time spent invested in other people is time well spent. I think that's real. You can't invest better time than that.
I also like the saying, it's greatness. No. Is that a community is benefited by old men that plant a tree that they will never see grow to its full height or something.
That's true.
I love it. I love it. It's fun.
Yeah. You got to care about the future generations. That is a guiding principle in my life. Is you want to leave this world a better place than you found it.
Inspiring.
Also, not to go too deep into this rabbit hole, but I look at every day as a transaction. Either I'm adding to humanity or I'm taking away from humanity, and that's something I take very seriously. Is my impact on humanity. I want to leave. When I die, I want this world to be a better place than it was when I found it, because of the collective, the summative benefit of having me in it.
Deep.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Speaking of deep.
Well done.
Speaking of deep, yeah, I thought so. Speaking of deep, have you heard about any shipwrecks in the Black Seas that were 2.5 kilometers underwater recently?
Son of a gun, Aaron! I'm glad you said that, because that reminds me of a shipwreck I have heard about. That reminds me.
Really?
Just
tell us more.
Well, I'll tell you what. I was talking to some scientists a few weeks ago, and I said, I've got a hunch. If you look over there in that portion of the Black Sea, you'll find something. And they said, Joel, we don't know what you're on, but we think you're right. And they did it, and they look at that. Of course, no thanks to me in any of these stories, but that's okay. I'm here to.
I think they should. I think this might be your soapbox to stand on. Since
it's not about Joel, Aaron. It's about humanity, and I think, in all seriousness, this does offer a really cool piece of the human history. So what it is, and I'm looking kind of off of a story over here to this computer screen, the oldest intact shipwreck known to mankind found in the depths of the Black Sea. Way down there, like you said, 2.5 kilometers, a little bit further than I can swim. I can't swim 50 feet. I didn't pass the swimming test at FFA camp. Goodness.
Not straight down. Not straight down. I couldn't swim 2.5 kilometers.
I couldn't even swim that sideways. Do you think I mean, if I had to, like, I bet the body could pull through.
Yeah, I
the
think
soul is strong. The body is weak.
I think I would do a lot of floating and hoping the currents would take me that far.
The old backstroke.
Nah, yes. The old find me a piece of wood.
Oh, okay.
Find me a piece of wood and I'll go run a set.
Very nice. So, okay. Lying in over 2 kilometers of water is something this person would never have believed possible, says John Adams, an archaeology professor at the University of Southampton and the group's principal investigator. The group being the one that found this ship. So what it is, it's a shipwreck, again, discovered way down there, thought to be ancient Greek in origin. And get this, it's not just some wood hanging around. It's like the whole boat in pretty pristine condition. Answering several questions. One of the top questions that I thought was interesting was there's been a debate among scholars for a while now between whether this type of oarlock was used that was depicted in pottery from ancient Greece and in artwork. They saw the oarlock, and many said, couldn't work like that. That's ridiculous. That's just an easy way they did to do it on there. Well, after finding this, they're able to say, you know what? That is how it worked, and I guess it did work. Why? That takes me into another question. Why are we always questioning, ancient history like the artists were just lazy? The artists, it takes a lot of work to make a vase. Tell you what.
I'm glad we're on the same wavelength with that because I was wondering that too. Why would they take you got to think before we had television, before they had podcasts. I mean, you don't really see, Homer and Achilles having a podcast out here. But, that was how they would record things back in those days was I mean, they had writing, sure, right, but artwork, absolutely. Aaron, and I think
I'm sorry, go ahead, keep going.
I think as an artist, today, and I don't see why that would change. I think you would take that role very seriously to record accurately the goings on in your world, no matter how large or small that world might be.
And we are spoiled in today's world by having things we can write on, things we can manipulate, such as a Word document. We can do it. We can do it no problem. We can put what we're doing right now. We can put our thoughts right out there. We can literally say
this will be there forever. Anything.
Forever. I mean, forever. See, this is a discussion for digital time about digital resiliency, but we'll talk about that down the road. But, back in the day, when you wrote things down or put things on a piece of artwork, that was a deliberate action that took some thinking. Do you remember our Hebrew class at Ohio State, Eric? And,
yes.
And
Joel Rice.
Or Joe Price. Which one is it? That was our professor. He's a pretty cool guy. But
names were changed to protect the
innocent. Keep in mind that we were talking about the Old Testament. Each line in the Old Testament, there's not one that's there without purpose. Each line was written with a purpose. They weren't just putting, oh, and also Jebediah was a tool. I mean, they didn't just say that. They said everything for a reason. And we looked into that deeper, and you find meaning behind that reason. And so, and I think this is just another case of that.
Not to go too far off.
You're fine.
I think the council in Nicaea also trimmed, gave all those books a nice little haircut to give us the Bible that we've got now.
Right. Now, I saw some things. They were after the initial discovery, because they have to use remote operated vehicles since it's way down there at the bottom of the Black Sea, which I didn't really realize the Black Sea was so deep. But
I didn't either. I would have thought like a couple hundo, like maybe.
And it also makes me realize that I know literally nothing about the Black Sea, and so I don't know why I assumed anything.
I learned as much about the Black Sea from reading that article as I have in the past 26 years of my life of knowing that the Black Sea existed. I know that there is an anoxic portion of the Black Sea, and I know that the Black Sea has parts in it that are over a mile deep.
And as you mentioned that, this shipwreck has been able to be preserved because of that anoxic nature of the sea. Things haven't been decomposing it. Boom! And it's pretty impressive. Now, we are recording this on October 23rd. We're live. We're live on October 23rd. But apparently they're releasing more information. I will say, some comments out there on the internet said, I know they're looking for more funding for this. I really hope they can get it. So many of these things don't get funded. And I go, dude, it's the oldest shipwreck in history.
Found it'll happen.
Yeah, you're not good. This is one of the easiest funded things ever. These scientists just went, know what I'm doing for the rest of my life.
Yeah. And then when we're done, we're gonna go on the Joel and Aaron show and let them interview us.
Yes, I think that's exactly what they're thinking tonight after their press conference that they're having probably right now. But it's radiocarbon dated to roughly 400 BC. Pretty impressive. Do check it out yourself. I just think it's really cool. It's just cool.
That's a long time ago.
History comes to life.
Kind of.
I'd be interested in seeing.
It is a time capsule, a tangible capsule of time, a moment, if you will, frozen for all posterity by the anoxic cold waters of the deep Black Sea.
Thank you, anoxic nature of Black Sea.
Good on you, no oxygen water.
Very good. Very good. Now, gotta say, I'm excited about the Ancient Aliens History Channel documentary on this.
They're going to have so much fun with it.
I'm looking very much forward to that. And I think that might trigger a Joel and Aaron show episode of its own. Down the road, of course, down the road. But.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. One question.
Yes.
How cool would it have been? Do you think it would be cool to live back then? We would both be old men back in ancient Greece.
I think about this. I don't know, old men. We'd be
well into the Middle Ages.
Middle age. We'd have our middle age crisis right now.
We would be 60-year-old men. We might be out buying trading skiffs and sailing around the Black Sea right now if we were back in ancient.
Yeah, they're probably going, why are they sailing around the Black Sea? That place doesn't have any oxygen. There's no fish there.
What are they doing? That boat's gonna sink.
There you go. I don't know if oxygen keeps a boat afloat. That's it.
But no, I think that would be interesting to see that.
Interesting.
But also terrifying.
I think one of the things you wouldn't think about would be the absence of noise. Noise and light pollution, I think, are things we don't often think about that are just ever present. I mean, you're not going to go around and listen to Tenacious D on your headphones in 600 BC.
To be fair, I want to listen to Tenacious D now. But
ooh. I like a couple of their songs. Tribute, big Tribute fan. I like that song. One of my more favorites. No? Okay. But
were the Greeks, was that Bronze Age?
Not totally up to date on my ages. My timeline of ages.
You just keep talking, and I'll.
Yeah, you do that. But again, part of the classical world, the shipwreck.
I think it's
I
Bronze
think
Age.
there are some total advantages, such as
Nah, I was wrong.
okay.
I was
What
wrong.
age was
The Bronze Age or the early Palladic era
it? Sounds
started
weird.
around 2800 BC and lasted till 1050 BC in Crete, while in the Aegean Islands it started in 3000 BC.
Must have skipped that day in history.
Yeah, well, it was longer than a day.
Well,
It was a whole age.
we are a whole age. If you, anyways, so there are total advantages to it. I can't think of them off the top of my head right now, but we're obviously living in the best time right now. Sailing. I mean, you go around and tell people you're a sailor. You do that today, people look at you weird and go, "Man, you must not have much to do on the weekends." Back then, you go, "Wow, you must be a trader. You're a tradesman
Or an
or
adventurer.
an adventurer."
Yeah,
Hopefully, you
like
fare better
Christopher.
than those people that went out in the Black Sea and never came back.
Yeah, maybe sailing more oxygen-rich waters. Because then, if your ship wrecks, nobody will ever find it.
It's not embarrassing when it comes up 2,600 years later, whatever.
What do you think the captain of that ancient Greek ship is thinking now in the afterlife, hanging out on Mount Olympus or wherever the ancient Greeks go in their afterlife, just like, found it. Man, here I thought it was at the bottom of that Black Sea and nobody'd ever find it.
Just think about like his insurance agent that came up to
Yeah.
him, like, you told me this was stolen from you. Looks like
Yeah,
you went out
you,
and sank it.
you told me this thing was full of gold and rye. There's nothing on this boat. All that's on this boat's some goofy oarlock that you said you weren't going to put on here.
Experimental oarlocks that were known to have sinking problems.
Everybody knows you put these oarlocks on your boat, it's going to sink, especially in Antarctica.
That's why we put them on vases, so people know not to put them on boats. You put the bad technology on the art, and you put the good stuff in real life. Everyone knows that. And boats aren't going anywhere, so we know we can just go look at a boat and say, okay, that's how you do it.
Boats are always going to be made this way. Everybody knows that. What are you doing?
We got to put the bad stuff on the art because it's bad. It's not going to hang around very long. We need to remember the bad stuff, though.
Everybody knows we're going to hang on to these vases and we're going to put them in a safe place so they last for like 3,000 years, so people know what not to put on their boats.
I love it. Yeah. You told me there were. Yeah, I thought this was loaded down with gold and bronze.
Speaking of being loaded down with gold and bronze, trading expositions and doing materialistic things in the ancient world. Let's talk about some materialism in the modern age, Joel. You had any recent purchases that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, got a new book, a couple of new books. So I'm a half price books frequenter. I go there almost. So
we talked about. I've got a book on my shelf that you bought me back right here. The Ways of the Woodsman or something like that. Big book.
Ooh, that's a good one. So I like to go. It's almost like a cheap way to invest in a hobby and wait around until my mind, like a lazy Susan, goes to the next one. So you're like, that hobby's a little too expensive for me to take part in. I'm just gonna go get a book about it.
Learn about it.
Feed the, and if I like it, and if my mind latches onto it, and I go, ooh, let's learn more about it, we can do that. But a book seems like a good way to start because it's like $3 at half price books. Yeah, but anyways, got the old Weapons of Chess book out here. Remember I was talking about chess last week?
You were.
Got that book. Also found this one for sale, the old 1,000 Places to See Before You Die. Gotta say, I'm a little disappointed. None of the Great Lakes are in this book. So frankly,
I would say I mean, I would say the Great Lakes in general would be one of the. I think the Great Lakes as its own entity would be your phone's vibrating, Joel. Would
Yeah,
be
I've got a call fairly important coming in. Aaron, you wanna hold on to that? I mean,
yeah,
you wanna take over for a little bit?
yeah, yeah. I got you. So
I'll
yeah,
be back.
my 1,000 places to go before you die. I think Great Lakes would definitely be on there. Um, there's a lot of neat things to see up at the Great Lakes. I think the yeah, Great Lakes would definitely be on there. I think it would be interesting to go to Egypt. I'm sure Egypt's on there. The pyramids. That's a place to see before you die. So while Joel's gone here, I'm going to talk about some of my purchases, and then we'll tag him back in here rather than sit here and talk about places I want to go to before I die. Some things I bought recently. I just got a new place to hunt down here in Ross County, about 4 minutes from my house here. I've got about 9 acres out there. It's a little woodlot right between a big overgrown thicket and some cut fields with a big patch of woods on one side of it. So I've spent some money getting that place ready to go. Hi, Joel. Welcome back.
Hey, what have I missed?
Just talking about some of my purchases here.
Oh,
I just telling them about the new property that I've got to hunt out there. I don't know if I mentioned that last week or not, but I just spent about $150 on getting stuff just for that property. I bought a couple of trail cameras and a 15-foot ladder stand.
how
And
many
I
uh
bought
how
a
many
couple
acres over there at that property?
nine acres, about maybe 2 acres of it wooded. But it's right up against this big pine thicket. There's some deer sign in there. Now, I'm going to hunt it differently than I would hunt the farm up in Amanda. I'm the first big doe that I have. The first antlerless deer that I have walk in front of me at this place. She's going to be gone on the ground because I still have room in my freezer, and I've never killed a deer outside of Fairfield County, so that's going to be a first for me. I'll put her up. Might put her skull up there or him. I've got my trail camera out there. That's one of the purchases I had. I bought a nice little trail camera last week and put it out. So I'm going to check it Friday when we get back from convention.
Speaking of that, I've got a trail camera I need to go take out to the farm right here. So there you go.
Hold that up. Hold that up. That's a
Not a
wild
new
game
purchase.
innovations.
This is
Yeah, that's a wild game.
correct.
Yes, the bottom of that'll flip open. I was talking about this the other day with you. I think the bottom of that, if it's like the one I bought, it'll hold 8 AA batteries. Yeah, so that should open up too, and it should fit 8 AA batteries in there, right?
Yep. And it's got some great
when
pictures on it. I got a video.
When I was in high school, this is one thing that's nice. You kind of look at, going from oarlocks of questionable quality on your boats to big outboard motors. When I was in high school, the technology for trail cameras is certainly not what it is today. I had an old a Moultrie trail camera. It was about 8 inches across and 10 inches tall.
That sounds like an old name. I mean,
Moultrie. No, Moultrie. They make a. It does seem kind of like a Gilded Age trail camera.
Okay.
They still make feeders and stuff though. But this thing, dude, it took 6 D-cell batteries, and they'd last for about 6 weeks, is what they were rated for, but they never did. And I think I had a 1 gigabyte memory card in it, and I think to get that, and it had a bright white flash.
The old phosphorus bulb you had to replace every time.
Yeah, it had it was like dripping. It was making acetylene gas or something in there, like miner's lamps. But no, it was took 6 D-cell batteries. That thing weighed like 10 pounds. And you were supposed to hold it up on the tree with these 2 little chintzy bungee cords. Man, that thing was a piece of junk though. And like I said, had that bright flash. And I probably had like $100 in this thing on a 1 gigabyte memory card. So this last camera that I bought, $30, similar to that one you've got. It was a Wild Game Innovations Terra 12 megapixel camera. That old Moultrie camera, I think it was a 1 megapixel, which was, it's fascinating to be able to see the growth that we have in technology.
Oh,
in
absolutely.
In a relatively short amount of time.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, and I need to go get some more trail cams because, like, when I was in high school and I wanted to get some trail cams, they were cost prohibitive. I wasn't able to get it. But now it's like it's almost like the market has woken up and we're like, if we price these down, people are gonna buy them.
Buy them, yeah. And I think that is one beautiful thing about capitalism, because if there's a dollar to be made, people will make a dollar.
For instance, you can make a little chessboard magnetic pocketbook thing that looks like this. So I got this from Amazon. We talked about it last week. Came in the mail, but this is what it is. Looks like a little chat. Looks like a little checkbook, but it's actually just these magnetic chess pieces that say if I want to move this pawn up 2 places right there. There you go. And then if I just need to board the airplane or something, just gonna put it. There you go.
There you go, man. There you go.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Any other
usefulness? Actual utilitarian usefulness? To be determined.
You're kind of choppy on me there with your video.
Yeah, you've been choppy all night for me. It's my internet. Very likely, it's my internet. So,
yeah. Any other purchases here before we sign off on the week here?
Not a purchase, but Grandma gave me this little present while I was at her house the other day. She said it's a little housewarming present. I got you. It's coming. It's coming up here.
Hold it up and talk and hold it.
Yeah. Housewarming present here from Grandma. And let me flip the switch here. It is a little early for this little Christmas decoration, but Grandma's a Christmas person. Look at that. It's kind of like a snow globe that always is going. Now that's Joseph, Mary, and baby Jesus. And
some might
what
say
a neat
Jesus.
little thing.
Some might say Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
Well, now I feel bad. I just put my Savior last out of 3.
Yeah.
Thanks, Aaron.
Of course, depending on your religion, one of those other 2 is pretty important too.
Yeah.
Joseph doesn't get anything, man. Nobody cares about Joseph.
Yeah. When in reality, I know Mary went through a lot.
Right.
Not taking away from Mary, but Joseph. Yeah. In his day and age, your wife getting pregnant, it took some faith. And then luckily an angel let him know, said, hey, it's legit. And said, but still, it takes a blessed person to take on that duty. It sounds like you did.
I would be out. Like,
even if an angel talked to you about it. It's
a
pretty glorious spectacle. Who are we to say anything about us in that situation?
It'd have to be a pretty
greatest story ever told.
It'd have to be a pretty convincing angel, I think. You imagine that. Just now, I'm not saying obviously it was a convincing angel. I'm sure Joseph was a better man than I am. I'm not saying, I'm not trying to sound sacrilegious. I'm just saying it would have to be a very convincing angel to change my mind.
There's a couple songs you should listen to. Joseph's Song by Michael Card, and another one by Mercy Me. Very similar. But it's too early to be talking about Christmas, or is it? What is your opinion on that matter?
After Thanksgiving.
All right.
As my side hustle later in the year. After Thanksgiving.
Which we can talk about after Thanksgiving. Or do we ever talk about it? I don't think we ever talk about it.
First rule.
Maybe we analyze similar situations, but
yeah, so we can speak in the third person.
I agree. I agree.
Also, I don't know how deep we want. Yeah, we talked about Donald Trump going out to the convention. That was the last thing I wanted to kind of talk about.
I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool, man. Cool, I know Vice President Pence went out
to 2016.
I want to know. So I know he's a figure that gets, you know, a lot of the both sides of the coin, if you will, the boos and the cheers. I'm thinking a lot of cheers will be from the FFA kids. Let's be honest, a mostly conservative group.
How dare you? How dare you? I'm just kidding.
Lumping people in the group? I'm sorry.
No, I think
plenty of FFAers that aren't.
Yeah, gosh, Joel. Speaking in broad generalities about statistics that are probably absolutely true.
Well, you know what they say. But no, I think
I'm just
no matter what president it is, it'd be cool to be out there. And
I was just busting your chops there, man.
Whatever. No, you're not. Whatever.
No, but yeah, I think there'll be I think it'll be met with broad approval, wide-reaching approval. I think the kids out there are, like you say, predominantly conservative. Now, as a teacher, I can say we've got some that aren't conservative, and that's fine. I think I've made it perfectly clear that I approve of people, and we certainly have a broad range of people. But I think if you're looking statistically, we've
become so politically correct on here, Aaron. So politically correct.
It's the nature of the beast, I guess. But no, I think in general, kids in FFA are going to be more conservatively minded. Yes, I think Trump will be.
Yeah,
I think.
Were you at FFA convention? Yes. Were you at FFA convention when Mike Rowe spoke? Like Dirty Jobs, Mike Rowe. Okay.
Yeah. What is it?
Dirty Jobs. It was a show many years ago. May probably have forgotten about it by now because we didn't put it on any vases in this digital world. Stick around until you go search for it.
I would say
you don't got to search for a vase. It's already there.
Do you know the name of the website where you go to find things on vases? Facebook. Facebook. No. I do know.
But at the same time, I'm impressed. That was well done. Can I say a joke? I don't know if we have much. We're like in almost 3 hours in at this point. It seems like, but let me tell you a joke. I heard it this past week. I really enjoyed it. All right, so there's this man walking along, and he sees another man across the road who has a giant peach for his head. Not a normal head, just a giant peach there. And he's walking along, normal business. Another man goes, "What? I gotta find out." So he runs across the road and he says, Sir. He stops. The giant peach looks around and he says, "Hey, I gotta ask, how did this happen?" He's like, "Well, I'll tell you. It's a good story," he says, as the giant peach starts talking kind of mysteriously. So I'll tell you. So he says, one day I was walking along the beach and I see this thing in the sand. It's kind of got a shimmer to it. And so I dig it up and behold, it's a lamp. He says, "What if there's a genie in this lamp?" So he rubs the lamp and lo and behold, a genie comes out. And the genie says, "Yes, You may have 3 wishes. Anything you want. And he says, like any sane person would, his first wish, make me a rich man. And so instantly, money, gold bars, coins of every nationality appear around him on the beach there. He is rich beyond his wildest dreams. He says, wow, this is legit. And then Genie says, 2 more wishes. And so he says, I wish to be married to a beautiful woman. And then all of a sudden, down the beach comes running this lass, just running towards him, beautiful as can be. And she gets to him and says, will you marry me? And he says, this is awesome. And then the third wish, the guy says to the person he's telling the story to, that's what got me. That's what got me into this situation. The guy's like, what is it? What is it? So he says, the third wish, I asked the genie, I wish to make my head a giant peach. There you go.
That was everything I thought it would be, Joel.
Glorious.
Yeah, it was. That was. Well, yeah. Good. Where do you
Obviously,
go from?
I enjoyed it much, much more than you.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
he said, I wish for a boat that'll sink in ocean, in the Black Sea in oxygen deprivated water
And
with improper oar locks.
And record my head for all posterity on a vase. Put it on Facebook.
We thought it was for artistic purposes.
Yeah,
Legit. This guy had a giant peach for a head. All right.
All right, Joe. You got anything else for us? I got to get packed and get ready to go.
Yeah, we should probably do that. I don't have anything else, but I've got to get packed. Maybe I'll see you around there on Thursday when I'm there. But we'll chat next week.
Are you going to be at the sessions on Thursday?
Yeah, we'll be at the sessions. They've got a cool media area right down there by the stage. So if you ever want to come see me before the sessions, I'll be down there up beside the organist too. So
I will. I will come check you out. So the one with the most organ spirit then from Oregon?
No, but close. Well done. Another well done one.
Is he the organist person?
The only person from Oregon. Yes, obviously. Gotcha.
All right. Well, Joel,
always
a pleasure. Glad to see you. Everybody that's I really enjoy this. If there's any topics that you, the viewer, would like to see us discuss here in our next episode of the Joel and Aaron Show, be sure to let us know in the comments section below. We will see you next week. Joel, good to see you, brother.
Love you, man. See ya.
Love you too, brother. Talk to you later. Bye.